We are all looking forward to Marvel Tokon releasing very soon, but we've got to wonder one thing. What should I do to prepare for the game before and after it launches? This video will address everything that you need to do if you want to be involved in the FGC, involved in the fighting games, and to get better. This is everything you need to do before and after the game launches. But let's get straight into it. For everything that you need to do before, first things first, figure out who you want to play. There's many character guides, both official and unofficial, that have been broken down to get to you, the player, to understand what these characters do. And even if it's a character that hasn't had their guide broken down yet, they still have some breakdowns that were done recently that's been going a bit all over Twitter. I'll have them on screen. I'll try to get a link, but either or, look up what the characters do to get interested. And after picking your main guy, go in order. Who do you want in for the rest of your team? Who do you want to play afterwards? Because eventually you're going to stop playing the game 1v1 with assists. You're going to start playing with your other characters. So start going in order. Who do you want to learn next? So on and so forth. And make sure that last one is just a killer assist. That's the goal when making your team. As you can see, this is my team because I want to really play Magneto. I really want to play Miss Marvel, and then the rest are good assists that I can learn later if I want to, but these are the two I want to learn. What else do you need to do before the game launches? The FGC glossary is something that you're really going to need on hand if you're a brand new player at fighting games. Everything ever has terminology, so do not be an asshole about this. Like when I'm playing Marvel Rivals, I need my tank to peel for me. Do you get what I'm saying? When I'm playing Deadlock, I need my teammate to gank on lane so I can win the 2v3. Do you get what I'm saying? Terminology is important for anything ever, and I know it's annoying and I know it makes no sense when you first get into it, but this is everything ever. So do not be an asshole when the FGC glossaries are like Okizemi, aka the art of catching someone waking up. It's good to know what everything means when someone goes to yap to you about something, so be prepared, be ready to hit with your own terminology. Show them you know what it means to do a happy birthday, show them you know what it means to run Okizemi. Point being, learn your terminology before coming into the game. It'll help you miles more when getting into a conversation. But after the game launches, this is a different matter. Now you've got your hands on the game, so you're wondering, what do I do next? What do I learn to make sure that I'm ready to play this game? One thing I would say is get used to your character specific movement, because every character has very specific movement to them. Best example, Magneto can float by doing double jump, and then he could also do air dashes in any way. So his movement is really varied compared to someone like Miss Marvel, who cannot air dash whatsoever. So when you play the game, be sure to actually understand what your character movement is, because it's going to be really varied and it's going to be very different between every character. It's going to be something you need to figure out. For example, if you start doing tag combos and then realize, oh, Miss Marvel doesn't have an air dash, I can't do a left-right setup here. You get what I'm saying? It's important to know this. The next feature I'd go to is the game's mission mode. This is good for just learning basic fundamentals in the gameplay mechanics. So if you're new to fighting games, this will help you a ton. You're going to learn what everything else does, and you're also going to learn all the specifics of every scenario to do these mechanics. It'll help you, and be ready to read, right? If you've played any of these games like Rivals, Deadlock and all that, you're used to reading, right? So there's nothing wrong with a wee bit of reading. It's going to help you. One thing that helps me with any fighting game is figuring out a fun combo. Why? Because now you can confirm any of your hits into huge damage. That's something that you really want. You want to make sure you're hitting your opponent for good damage. And second, it starts teaching you, the player, when and when you cannot land these combos. It starts making you a bit more fly in the scenario. It also starts making you realize what's minus and plus on block, what's a disadvantage, what's an advantage. So you start going like, okay, well I can't do that on block, I need to do something else. And just like that, you learn the art of hit confirming. So something that's helped me, learn a fun combo, and you can learn when you can and cannot do that fun combo. There's so many layers to learning a combo, believe it or not. And this is my last key tip for when you build up the game, because you've learned the system mechanics, you've learned a combo, you've learned your team, you've learned what you want to do. Don't boot up ranked. This is my last tip. Do not boot up ranked no matter what. And you're probably wondering why? Why shouldn't I boot up ranked? That's a perfect place. People can play competitively. I can learn stuff. No, when people play in ranked, they play to win. AKA, it's hard to learn off of a ranked set unless there's a replay system, which that's something you're going to check out as well. In a ranked session, you can lose to someone really hard and not know why. And looking at the replay, if you're uneducated about the game, you may not know why you just got steamrolled, despite the fact that you looked at something that told you exactly why. What I recommend you do is get on and play with friends or people of similar level. Get into calls, get into chats, and chat away with your mates as you're playing. Why? Because if you get your ass beat by a setup, they can tell you why you got your ass beat by a setup. And that goes vice versa, right? If you beat your mate's ass up and he's all like, how did that happen? You could tell them how that happened. So you start off in the game and you want to play some proper sets. Do not hop on ranked. It's not a place to learn, it is a place to improve. Two different things. Improving is taking your skill and making it better. A place to learn is looking at things that you may not know and learning from it, understanding it better. So learning and improving, believe it or not, are two different things. They're not separate from each other and they can lead to the same outcome. However, two different things. Want to do learning? Casual sets with mates. You want to improve your skills and what you already know? Play ranked. But that is it for this video. It's a very simple, very short video telling you everything that you may or may not need to get into the game. Because who knows, maybe after the DLC launches, your team is something you don't want to play. I'm waiting for Thor. Who knows, maybe Magneto will just get tossed off the team for Thor. That could happen. But you get my point. I hope this video was very educative. Hope you learned a lot off of it, and if you do, be sure to let me know. If you enjoy, be sure to like, hype, sub. Tell me what you think about Tokon. Are you looking forward to the experience? Are you a newbie, or are you someone that's educated to a high degree? I would love to know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.